You gotta go. You want to do your comment? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sure, please. You're up. I appreciate it. It's time. Yeah, go ahead. The public is allowed to speak on issues or items not scheduled for discussion on the agenda. Comments should be limited to issues and items germane to the business of the governing body. The commission will not discuss or debate these items, nor will the commission make decisions on items presented during this time. Members of the public will be limited to 3 minutes for comments, please.
Thomas Duggar, 66046. I'm especially fond of North Lawrence. I'm going to be investing in North Lawrence in the future, and it's underserved by the bus. You take 100 yards each side of the bus route, you're only covering 25% of North Lawrence. People want to develop North Lawrence. They need an additional route instead of just going east on Locust, then north on 7th, and then back to the main road out to the DMV and back. Also, I'm working extensively with Bert Nash on both mental health and housing. Since I'm low income, I qualify for Section 8 housing. That's going to take 2 to 3 months. I'm going other routes outside of the system to get housing. I can get a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment, 1 bus stop away from or co-op for $500 a month. My Section 8 housing is going to be $900 a month for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. Smaller and only 1 bedroom. I can get another one for $500, or another place I found $750. That's way less than $900 a month for Section 8 housing. Also, the community shelter has major problems. Just recently, I don't like to mention names, but the director went off on a resident for about smoking. He said, "I'll never do it again." Went outside. The director followed him and harassed him for 30 minutes on smoking. That's not what a director should be doing, harassing a nice guy that I know because he smoked once in an area he wasn't supposed to. And I have all kinds of other stuff about the potholes.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
The number 1 and the number 3 I went on today. The number 3.
Your time's up, sir. Appreciate you. We can talk after the meeting if you'd like.
Yes. What time is it?
It's only 5 till 7.
I got to leave now to catch the 7 o'clock bus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe before the meeting next time.
Which means I'm going to miss it. So
okay.
On-demand bus is probably booked solid. So I'll have to find other means to get home.
Sorry about that, Thomas.
Hello, do you need my name?
Yeah, if you'd like to give it, that would be great. And location, that'd be fine.
I gotcha.
And
I'm Samia. I just wanted to say I understand that in 2022 we weren't able to pass a sanctuary ordinance regarding like immigrant status for Lawrence, but knowing that ICE agents have been seen in Lawrence in the past few days, I just wanted to urge the City Commission to do what it is able to make sure that we stand by like Lawrence constituents' opinions about immigration policy, and make sure that if we are able, like our law enforcement departments are not signing things like a 287G agreement, which expands ICE agents' abilities to come into this community and take members of its community. That's all I had. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Brad Logan, how y'all doing? I'm also homeless, and I've been to the shelter. I have been removed from the shelter. My complaint is I feel like the punishment is way overdue for the crime or whatever they want to say I have done. But what I'm saying is the shelter should not be the only resource that you could go to for the fact that I work with Burnt Nash, I work with all these other resources with DARE. The shelter controls all things. So if I'm put out the shelter, I have no opportunity to go anywhere else to get off the street for the fact that everything falls underneath the umbrella of the shelter. And the shelter tells me that I can't do anything for a year. It's 30 degrees outside. I've been out of the shelter for the last 2 weeks for things I consider myself moving myself forward for their opinion for me not to do it without them. Okay, cool. I could take the punishment, but I'm saying that the punishment is too long for what I have done, and for me to not to be able to go anywhere else in the city of Lawrence because everything falls underneath the shelter. So once the shelter says no, you can't reach out to any other organization to help you because everything comes underneath the shelter, and I don't think that's right.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chris Flowers. I just have a quick thing to mention tonight. I was just thinking about how KU they have a tobacco-free policy, and I was just thinking if they ever come back to y'all wanting some kind of tax break or taxpayer money, that whatever they're asking for, is there any way you can make a condition that they get rid of their tobacco-free policy? Because the more I started thinking about it, tobacco-free isn't very inclusive at all when you're telling smokers you can't smoke here at all. I'm not saying smokers should be allowed to smoke wherever they want, but you mean to tell me not one place on all of KU, they could find places for smokers to smoke. So, and it's like, why if someone can't even smoke in their own car, why should Lawrence smokers, why should their tax dollars go to a $1 million corporation that doesn't want them smoking on their place? But it's more than that, because I don't know if it's gonna, like, the new stuff they got going on at 21st, those are apartment buildings. So I mean, and there's affordable housing, which we are giving tax breaks to that. So if there's affordable housing there and you're a smoker, now you're faced with a decision. Do I have to give up smoking for affordable housing? And I don't think that's fair, especially when before, I think it's been mentioned here, when they're by other entities, that poor people are more likely to smoke. Or was it that the tobacco industry is preying upon the poor? Whatever it is, if poor people are more likely to smoke, I don't think it's fair that they are then given that choice. Well, if you want affordable housing, there's a place here that the city is giving money to, but that entity is not going to let you smoke. I don't think that's fair. I think if KU wants some more of Lawrence taxpayers' dollars, I think they should do away with that tobacco-free policy, because the city of Lawrence isn't tobacco-free. Just throwing that out there. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Hello, David Baston. I did submit a some starting strategies and recommendations on to reduce the city budget online for your consideration. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but it's on there. I mean, I see your guys' role as commissioners in reducing the budget. Your oversight and accountability is much more than anybody else out there. I mean, you guys are the ones that say yes or no, and can we cut this? Can we cut that? And as I laid out in some of the strategies, and they may already have all of these. I don't know, because I don't know the city, but I'm sure there's some in there that you can look at and adjust or what have you to get some reductions. And I know it's been said that, not outright, but the city doesn't make any mistakes, basically. I mean, there are ways to save money, and obviously you guys know that. And I do appreciate the balancing act opening up, and I kind of I like the program. Basically, it's just an accounting program. You have this much money to spend, where you want to put it. There's nothing in there on anything about reduction. Just like Lisa brought up last year, that she would like to look at all the different programs and stuff that we have. I think some of you guys agreed also that you would like to look at all the programs that's outlined in what I sent also for some things that we could cut. Let's just take cutting discrimination and exclusivity programs. Basically, that's just looking at any program that isn't for everybody. If it targets basically one group of people or anything, we really need to look at that. I mean, we're all about being inclusive and not discriminatory. So, and I do see there are programs that that give money to just certain people and not the community as a whole, and some of those should be cut. And but I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Eric Hyde, 66044. I live in the Polar Lofts. I'm going to be married in March, and I got a kid coming in the way that's due July 31st, just to let you guys know. Yeah, I came here to talk about Haskell. They lost library funding. A head librarian lost her job. Students lost resources. Haskell is not just a university, it's a pillar of Indigenous education. Yet its library now faces financial struggles that threaten to serve the students. Funding comes from the federal government, but we can take action here in Lawrence. So I asked this commission to figure out some resolutions. Maybe you can contact Congress or the Bureau of Indian Education and try to solve this matter. I outlined some things in a PDF that's attached to this night's agenda, so you feel free to look at those. Some things I came up with. Haskell matters. The clock is ticking. Take action, like the motto of Haskell, onward, which is also the motto of my last name's coat of arms. But please, no liberal or conservative dogma, just help them. So that's good. I've got plenty of time left. Also, I want to thank Ed Healy and Jamie Hsu at the Douglas County Elections Office for reaching out to the LJ World last month, for omitting me from an article about my registration for the candidacy for Lawrence City Commission. They corrected the Lawrence Journal World, and who's sitting over there. I believe. And I announced that in March of last year. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware that they love to omit me for whatever reasons they have. And also, right. So they have fair reporting standards that they have to obey because they receive federal grant money. But at least there are two people in the county, in the elections office, who have the integrity for the truth and that are looking out for me. And one of them I know doesn't even live in this county. But also, the Human Relations Committee or Human Relations Department and the Municipal Court denied the complaint that I filed about this. But it's clear that the Lawrence Journal World has omitted me and is not accommodating my public needs and is violating standards in the media and stuff like that. So they should be investigated. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Yeah, I think that's it for the room. Anybody online?
We have a few. Lawrence accountability.
So I don't know how many of you all got the February LCS newsletter. It indicated that there were 28 people housed. I questioned that and I sent an email to them asking that. I got a response. I asked them which specific program was utilized for each person, what kind of voucher or funding was used, and what length of time establishing that and stabilizing funding available to each person. What I got back was of the 28 individuals housed in the fourth quarter that they claimed, 10 were housed via rental without subsidy. I want an explanation of rental without subsidy. Are you guys implying, is LCS implying that 10 chronically homeless people are now living independently in an apartment paying fair market rent? I'm not even going to explain what that involves. That's a question that needs to be answered. 3 of those people were living via rental subsidy. And so with all the funding the city and the county and local agencies have done, you only managed to provide 3 vouchers. And then 15 moved in with family and friends. Now, more than half of these people that they're claimed are housed are moved in with family and friends. That is not a form of housing by any definition. That is called precariously housed. It's category 2 in your definitions. It's temporary shelter in somebody else's home is basically what that is. So that's not getting somebody housed. We're not tracking a lot of the local information that we could, even though we as a county have committed to functional zero. So I went out and I took a look at community solutions. It's community.solutions out on the web, and people can go out and take a look how Douglas County is faring in their commitments. But we made a commitment in April of 2020 that we joined Built for Zero, that we were going to go for this Built for Zero thing. Now that has some different milestones that need to be reached. We've created a shared definition of what the right end state is. We don't want homeless people. Everybody agrees with that for whatever reason. But we haven't assembled an accountable community-wide team. I mean, these numbers that they're showing us, that's not accountability. That's I'm not sure what that is, but we're going to need some more explanation behind it. And then the community-wide team, there's a lot of the community that's being excluded. I'll go into the other 3. I was going to go into those, but I thought it interesting that tonight Thomas and the other gentlemen were there talking about your LCS director and the way he behaves. I remember being in there not too long ago where he was telling you that he told a rape victim that they couldn't bunk with somebody because they weren't being raped right now, right? So y'all think about that. And I'll opine later online myself. I'll go into great detail for you if you'd like to join me at Lawrence Accountability.
Thank you, Michael.
Hillary Carter.
Good evening again, Commissioners. My name is Hillary Carter. I live at 2119 Virginia Street. I'm speaking in my personal capacity tonight. I serve on the Connected City Advisory Board, as you know, but I wanted to bring forth, because of the timing, my concerns about the city's sidewalk snow removal policy that asks or requires adjacent property owners to clear sidewalks. It effectively comes down to spot clearance, because some people do clear their sidewalks and others don't. And what I observed during the snowstorms in January was that I saw a lot of wheelchair users going out into the roads to traverse, to get to where they needed to go. I saw women and children trying to get to school, falling and slipping, and unable to get to their destination safely. And other people with mobility issues or challenges that could not move down sidewalks. So I think that this is a serious concern that we should figure out what we can do moving forward. And I just want to direct you to my written comments. I put forth a case study from Rochester, New York. They have a pretty robust, actually one of the most robust sidewalk clearance programs in the country. It's municipally paid for. They have an embellishment tax. It's $36 a year. And anytime there's significant snow, they define that as over 4 inches of snow. The sidewalks are like 850 miles of sidewalks are cleared by the city. And it's an interesting program because it was sort of a win-win. They put it out to bid. Everyone who is selected as a bidder has to provide their own equipment. And so there's no cost to the city for equipment acquisition. And what ended up happening was that off-season farmers were getting these contracts during the idle season, and they were then using the equipment they already had to plow, the snow throughout the winter season. And Rochester has, presumably more snow than we do in Lawrence, but I feel like it was a win-win for farmers, for Rochester residents, and for the collective good of the city. So I just wanted to explore ideas and options for a project or a program like that here, so that we have accessible and clear pathways for everybody who lives in Lawrence. And thank you for taking the time to listen to me tonight, and hopefully the resources I shared there were helpful.
Thank you, Hillary.
Jeffrey Hepler.
Good evening, all again. Jeffrey Hepler, 66044. The first thing that comes to my mind is what Samia had to say. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. There are people who are genuinely fearful in this current climate, and we as a city need to take steps to alleviate that fear. I don't know what the order that she said was. It's a G something. We need to look into that. The only other thing that comes to my mind is a shameless plug. Our students at Limestone made the front page this Sunday on the LJ World, fighting that good fight for the wetlands. That fight continues. So we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Jeff. One more?
One more. Stephen Watts.
Thank you. For an earlier presenter, I'd like him to know it's 74 degrees in Miami. If you'd like to go to Miami, it gets cold here in Kansas. That's the way it is. Has been for a long, long time. Anyway, hey, We heard the NAACP come up in here today and say, whoo, thank you so much. And yet at the same time, I'm sitting here waiting for the reports relative to the Department of Justice August presentations sponsored by the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department and the NAACP. Let me see now. August, September, October, November, December, 7 months. 7 months we've been waiting to hear what is the outcome of that meeting with the police department and the Department of Justice. We have a police department in this town which allows our police people to beat us below the head with their hands, their fists, their knees, their elbows, whatever, as long as they are not using a weapon. And it doesn't go into a use of force report. I believe that the public understands force, meaning whenever somebody hits you, oh, that's not how the police department underscores it. And you guys are letting them get away with it. Why can't they just say, okay, you know, we hit this guy? It's all about transparency and honesty. Or is that something that I should just forget about? I'm trying hard not to forget about it, but over and over, you guys, my town commissioners, allow these kinds of policies by our town police department to beat you below your head as long as there is no weapon involved. Why does this keep going on for over 8 years, well, 9 years? It's incredible. It's incredible. And I'm running out of energy, me, myself, and I, in terms of saying, okay, I guess I'm just a Dutch boy with his thumb in the dike. Oh, am I being racist by saying that? A Dutch boy.
Thank you, Mr. Watts.
Thank
Time's
you.
up, sir.
Aloha.
Appreciate-
All the comments.
All right. Great. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn. Second.
Motion to adjourn by Pinkeldye, seconded by Littlejohn. All in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion passes 5-0. Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.